Hey guys, so the results of the Dragon Ball character popularity poll are out. So I thought I'd do a quick video recapping the top 21 and sharing some of the interesting information that they dropped along with the results of this poll. As many of you may know, there's been a poll going on since I think November in order to determine the most popular characters in Dragon Ball. So this is part of the 40th anniversary celebration that is about to culminate with the Genki Damatsuri going on, well, today, technically. I think for many of you, when this video goes out, it'll be today. But actually, by the time many of you watch this, it might even be over. So January 25th in Japan. And again, this poll is something that has been done for the 40th anniversary. It's a global poll, so people from all over the world could participate. And there were over 200 characters, if I remember correctly, in this poll. So let's take a look at the top 21. Now, this website that you see on screen right now is where you can see all the results. They have shared a lot of data. They broke down the results by country, by gender, by age range. It's really interesting stuff, but I'm just going to focus on the top 21, and maybe I'll share a couple other extra little things. So let's begin with number 21. Raditz. So I think this makes sense, right? Raditz is the first big bad in Dragon Ball Z. And given that this is a global poll, right? It's not just Japan. I'm not all that surprised to see Raditz in the top 21 because there's a lot of people for whom, Dragon Ball Z is the only Dragon Ball they know, or it's the main thing. So yeah, Raditz makes sense. Goku's brother. I'm not too surprised by this. Let's go to the next one. At number 20, we have Videl. So this is interesting. As you're going to see in the rest of this poll, well, the ladies managed to make it into the top 20 and Videl managed to scrape by just barely. I mean, I think a lot of people like her in her, let's just say, first appearance range, like when she had the pigtails and she was actually a tough character. Once she becomes Mama Videl, yeah, not so popular. But again, we're talking about the original manga, so this is the popular version of Videl. Makes sense. Top 20. I got some. We'll see. We'll see if maybe I would replace Videl with somebody else, but I'll talk about that once we are done with the top 20. Number 19, Nanchi. So that's kind of interesting given that she's not a major character, but she made enough of an impression on people around the world to make it into the top 20, or maybe it's just because, well, again, the ladies managed to rank in fairly high. I will point something out. So in the official Dragon Ball YouTube channel, they released a YouTube video where they went over the top 20. I think slightly more than the top 20, but mainly they focus on the top 20. And Toyotaro and a host talk about the ranking. They go one by one. And Toyotaro says she's the first transformation character. And, well, kind of, although Goku does transform before her, and actually Ulan and Poor transform before her as well. So maybe you could say she's the first human transformation character, but I know people say, oh, she was the first Super Saiyan. I get that. But nevertheless, interesting. I think in terms of her overall impact on the story, I wouldn't say she's top 20, but in terms of her physique and stuff like that, I guess people really like her. At number 18, we have number 17, Android number 17. So again, not too much of a surprise here. He is quite popular. I mean, I would say that 18 and 17 are both quite popular. But I like that he managed to make it in at number 18 instead of number 17. All right, so let's see number 17. Chi-Chi. So I think some of the English-speaking Dragon Ball fans might be surprised by this because Chi-Chi tends to be very much disliked in the English-speaking world. That is partially because of the anime, but partially because of the English dub as well, and just a difference in culture. I think that Chi-Chi is not as disliked in Japan, and she's seen much more as a humorous character and to some degree a relatable character. And again, we're talking about the manga, not really the anime, although of course the anime is going to cloud the judgment and the results of this because it is so influential. But anyway, number 17, Chi-Chi. At number 16, we have Goten. So look, Goten is cute and he does play a role in the Buu Saga, but he's not that impactful of a character. He's not particularly relatable. He's okay. And so I think 16 is totally reasonable for Goten. This makes total sense to me. At number 15, we have the black cat that lives at Bulma's house. That's literally what the name of this character is listed as. Buruma no Ie, the house of Bulma, no Kuroneko, the black cat at the house of Bulma's house. I love this. I was waiting for the joke character or the unexpected character to make it into, hopefully a high ranking. This is pretty high, number 15 out of 200 something characters. I love that this little black cat that plays no real important role in the story has made it into the top 20. My only wish is that it would have made it higher. But we'll see. Maybe there's another joke character somewhere in there. For now, Black Cat, number 15. At number 14, we have Tenshin Han, or Tien. So I think 14 is reasonable for Tenshin Han. I know there's definitely some Tenshin Han fans out there, and don't get me wrong, I like him too. I think that his fight with Goku in the first tournament that they got matched up, that would be the 22nd Tenkaichi martial arts tournament. That is one of the best fights in the franchise. I love that fight, but he's not that important of a character after that. He has some moments here and there, but he basically drops out of the limelight and he goes off on his own path, which I think makes sense for him as a character. But it also makes sense that, well, he wouldn't have as many fans, as many people voting for him as some of the other characters that we're going to continue seeing higher up on this list. Number 13, Bulma. This was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought she'd make it a little bit higher up on the list. I think that she should be in the top 10, but that's just me. Again, this is a global poll, so if this was Japan, maybe she would have made it into the top 10. But of course, there's a lot of people in Europe, South America, and the US and all that are voting. So I think maybe, well, especially the US people, because many of the US people only focused on Z, so they didn't see the whole beginning and all that, or they don't really care so much. So again, I think Bulma should be top 10, but 13, I think it's reasonable given how competitive the top 20 is. At number 12, we have Yamcha. So Yamcha ranked higher than Bulma. That's something there. I wouldn't have guessed that, but hey, people like Yamcha, even though they also like to make fun of him. I don't know. I think Yamcha has this special place in people's hearts. And the fact that he's been there since the first story arc also is important. The fact that, well, he died against the Cybermen and all that. Yeah, he may not be the strongest, but people can't help but like Yamcha. But I would have gone with Bulma higher up than Yamcha. But hey, again, this is a poll. This is what most people say. So not too surprising, but interesting nonetheless. At number 11, we have Krillin. This makes total sense to me. Yeah, he didn't make it in the top 10, but people like Krillin. He's the everyman. He is Goku's childhood friend. He's the guy that, well, he keeps dying. But Krillin is a likable guy, right? He is the relatable guy among the superhuman martial artists. Makes total sense. So number 11, congrats, Krillin. All right, we've made it into the top 10. Let's talk about number 10 and number 9 together. Frieza and Cell. So number 10 is Frieza, number 9 is Cell. So I think, yeah, this makes sense, but it is interesting to see Cell higher up than Frieza. It is only by one slot, but still, you would think that Frieza would be a little bit higher, right? Like maybe number 8 or number 7 or number 6. And to see Cell up here, yeah, that's a little bit surprising, but here's the thing. We also don't know like how many people voted for each of these characters. As far as I've been able to tell, and I've scrolled around this website a decent amount. Sorry, my monitor is over here. That's why I'm pointing over here on my right. But for you, it's up here, right? So anyway, yeah, I've scrolled around this website and I haven't seen I haven't seen a number for the total number of votes and how much each character got. So it's totally possible that Cell scraped by and only got a little bit more than Frieza. But I would have guessed that Frieza was more popular than Cell. So, I mean, Frieza is the character that keeps coming back. They brought him back in Super. They brought him back in Resurrection F. Yeah, Namek Saga is one of the most popular. Well, I mean, Android Saga is too, but I would have guessed that Frieza would have made it higher up than Cell. But again, maybe this was only, 200 votes difference or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if this was a very close call. At number 8, we have another waifu. So it's Android 18. She is 10 slots higher up than her brother. Does it surprise you? It does surprise me that she made it up significantly higher than Bulma, right? Bulma was number 14, if I remember correctly. Let's check. No, Bulma was number 13. So Android 18 made it to number 8. Again, the female characters all made it on here because Dragon Ball fans, they're a bunch of pervs. It is a fandom dominated by male fans. So yeah, doesn't surprise me. But again, I would have thought that Bulma would have made it up higher, but I guess, I don't know, 18, blondes. People love the blondes. And at number 7, we have Bardock, which is kind of ridiculous because, again, this is a popularity poll of the characters in the manga. Bardock barely appears in the manga. He gets like, what, 1 panel? 2 panels, maybe? So, of course, Toriyama included him in the manga after the Bardock TV special aired, and he liked it, so he decided to incorporate Bardock into the manga. But it's not like he wrote a whole story for Bardock or anything like that. No, I mean, it's just like 1 or 2 panels. I think it's 1, but maybe there's a second one somewhere. So normally Bardock shouldn't be in here. But of course, like I said earlier, people are being influenced by the anime and other stuff, the video games and all that, right? You can't divorce those depictions of Bardock from what we get in the manga. It's too influential for most people. And so I think the manga purists out there are probably outraged that Bardock made it up here. But the people that, consume everything and they're not so picky about, oh, actually, this is from the manga, this is not from the manga, blah, blah, blah. To them, they have an image of Bardock that might be from the TV special or might be from episode of Bardock. I hope not. But people like Bardock for whatever reason. I mean, I like the Bardock TV special a lot, but that hasn't been brought into the mainline continuity, right? So I don't know. This is a weird choice. I get why he's up here, but also I don't think he should be here. At number 6, we have Future Trunks, and this is not all that surprising. In fact, I would say it's only surprising in that he wasn't higher. Some people would have guessed that he would have made it into the top 3 or the top 5, but he barely missed the top 5. Trunks has been popular from the very beginning when he showed up and chopped up, Mecha Frieza, right? And King Cold. So yeah, he's an eternally popular character, and for good reason. In the comments that scroll under the results here, there's one person that said, these are quotes from, I guess, people that voted, and they were saying like, oh, he's handsome, oh, he's so good looking. So Trunks is popular with the ladies as well, not just the guys. At number 5, we have Vegito. So this is Vegito in English. And remember, this is only the manga. So Gogeta, right, was not in the manga. He was in the movie first, and then they brought him into Super. So Gogeta was not part of this competition. So Toyotaro and the host in the video that the official Dragon Ball YouTube channel dropped to announce this, the results, they were talking about this. And Toyotaro speculated that, well, perhaps, or maybe it was the host. I'm sorry. It was they were talking about this. Maybe some of the fans of Gogeta ended up voting for Vegito because Gogeta's not within this poll, again, because he wasn't in the manga. So maybe that's what boosted up Vegito in the ranking. So he's number 5. Number 4, Piccolo. So this is great. I'm very happy to see Piccolo in the top 5. Not all that surprising. I think well-deserved. People around the world love Piccolo. So yeah. And from here on out, I think you can guess every single other result. So let's get to it. At number 3 and number 2, we have Son Gohan and Vegeta. Makes total sense. Not surprising at all. I think a lot of people guessed that this is how things would turn out. Many people love Gohan, and, well, Vegeta, of course, too. The only real surprise here is that, well, Gohan wasn't number 2 and Vegeta wasn't number 3, but again, to see these two characters up here in the top 3 is totally expected. And, well, I'm sure you could have guessed it, but at number 1, we have Goku. People around the world love Goku, so whether you've only watched Dragon Ball Z or you've actually experienced the entire story, people like Goku, right? Doesn't matter if you're in the US, if you're in Japan, people like Goku. So it's not at all surprising to see him at the number 1 spot. I think most people around the world would have been able to guess that, yeah, Goku's the most popular character. Now here's an extra thing that I found interesting. Piccolo is number 1 among women in their 30s. Why women in their 30s? I don't know. I guess they can recognize that he's a good daddy because Goku's such a bad dad. Of course, I'm joking, but I just found it really interesting. You can see it here. You can pick dansei or josei here. So this right here, that's men. And then this right here is women, right? And then, you know, the 20, 30, the 10s, the 40s, whatever. You can look around here. This is, you know, the rankings divided, you know, according to each specific category. And Piccolo is number 1 among women in their 30s. I absolutely love that. So good job, Piccolo. You can find yourself a good woman in her 30s and settle down, and you won't have to take care of Pan anymore. You can take care of your own weird human Namekian hybrid. Anyway, yeah, I highly recommend just taking a look at this website. It's fun. There's a lot of results all over the place. I haven't checked if there's an English version, but maybe. So take a look. I'll include the link to this website down in the description. And here's one more interesting thing that I want to share with you guys. So since Goku was the winner, they decided to share some fun trivia about Goku as part of the results here. And each of these, you can click on them and it'll tell you a piece of trivia about Goku. So let's go through them because these are pretty interesting and it's not the kind of thing that you see all that often. At least one of these might be new. Maybe nobody has ever counted. Well, I can pretty much guarantee that one of these has not been counted by people before because it's so super specific. Anyway, so this one right here, this one, again, this is only for the manga. This is the total win-loss record for Goku. And so the total win-loss record for Goku is 117 battles with 76 wins and 16 losses. In other words, his win record is around 65% of his total battles. And then the last 25 that aren't part of that win-loss record are battles in which Goku and the opponent didn't actually finish fighting. They're inconclusive, or for whatever reason, right? There's no clear victor. And then one other interesting thing that they talk about right here in this part is that during the Cell Saga and the Android Saga, Goku doesn't get a single win. So yeah, he does do the father-child Kamehameha, but the ultimate, finishing move, the ultimate, last blow is delivered by Gohan. So that doesn't count for Goku's win record. So there you go. Now you know, according to the official Dragon Ball website and all this stuff, like the official Dragon Ball record for Goku is 117 battles, 76 victories, and 16 losses with 25 inconclusive fights. Next up, we have how many times Goku's clothes have ripped during a battle, a fight, or ripped or torn or gotten damaged. It's a little bit vague, but yeah, I think all probably apply here. So out of the 119 fights, was it 117? Sorry, 117 fights that they counted, we get 19 battles in which his clothes rip or get torn in some way. So I don't know exactly which battles these are. I would love to see a complete list, but they don't provide it. So again, according to this count, the Dragon Ball official website and all that, 19 times his clothes rip. All right, let's go to the next one. This is the finishing move that Goku has used the most. What do you think it is? Is it the Genki Dama? I think, yeah, this is implying that, huh? Well, it's not the Genki Dama. I already know what it is. They say it's a kick. It's a kick. So, yeah, Ichiwa Okata finish. So, finishing blow, kick. Just a kick. So they include all kinds of kicks, like spinning kicks and roundhouse kicks and flying kicks and all that stuff. So there's also that kick, right? The famous Jackie Chun, Kid Goku kick, right, at the first Tenkaichi tournament that Goku participates in. So there you go. Now you know it's the kick. It's not a Genki Dama. It's not a Kamehameha. It's a kick. Next one. How many times has Goku eaten a senzu? This one, I'm sure people have done the math for, but let's see what they say. Yeah, 11 times. 11 times. So there you go. Now you know Yajirobe has eaten many more. All right. This is another one of those that I don't think people have ever counted before. And if somebody has, well, they are a true Dragon Ball nerd. How many times has Goku stretched out, elongated, activated, I guess you might even say, the nyoibō, the power pole? So according to this, it's 13 times. There you go. Now you know you don't have to count through the entire manga. And as I've said before, this is only for the manga. All right, next one. This one I really like. So how many panels in the manga does Goku appear in? So this one is, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot. It's a lot. 10,206 panels. And that's not including the covers and all that. That's just the panels. A koma is a panel in the manga. So crazy, right? That's 10,206 panels that Akira Toriyama drew with Goku in them. And then there's all those other panels that didn't have Goku in them. And that is it. So as you can see, there's a bunch of other stuff. And again, I do recommend checking this website out. It's fun. It's pretty fun. This was a lot more fun than I was anticipating. Again, if you want to check out the website, check the description down below. I'll include the link to the website so you can have fun with all those statistics. I just wish they would have released the actual numbers, how many votes each character got and all that. If you see that somewhere on the website, tell me in the comments. I would love to know. So next up, we have the Genki Damatsuri. We're going to find out what the two quote-unquote new projects are that are going to be announced, hopefully for this year. Is it the Dragon Ball Super remake? Is it something else? I don't know, but we'll find out soon enough. I might do a live stream. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I've never done a live stream before. So maybe I'll do it, or I'll drop a video after the stream is done. And then I'll talk about my thoughts and all that, what was discussed during the event, the Genki Damatsuri. I assume they're going to have subtitles or something. I don't know. But I do speak Japanese and all that. So I do want to release a video where I explain everything. But again, I might do a live stream. I don't know. Keep an eye out. I just want to get this video out as soon as possible. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments, who's your favorite Dragon Ball character? Do you agree or disagree with the results of this poll? I'd love to hear your opinions. Leave a like and all that. I'll be back soon with one of my more normal edited videos. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.